It was perfect.
The movie that started it all for Pixar, and this one is still timeless, even in today's standards. So the movie revolves around this group of toys owned by a kid named Andy, and one day he gets a new toy named Buzz Lightyear. Buzz is a more modern toy with built-in electrical features, making him the shiny new toy. Woody, who is Andy's favorite toy, now gets put on the bench, while Andy focuses on playing with Buzz. Obviously, this makes Woody jealous, and he tries to get rid of Buzz. They get found by a kid named Sid, who is the villain of this story, who does mad scientist type things with his toys. Now, him and Buzz need to find a way out and make it back to Andy and the group. I think this movie still holds up. The humor still lands even today, and the animation, for being 1995, still looks good.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
I still remember watching this for the first time, and was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. The story follows an ant named Flick, who is an inventor and worker in an ant colony. One day the grasshoppers, led by Hopper, appear to threaten the ants that if they don't pay their annual protection fee, they won't defend them anymore against outside threats. Just this time, they want double their normal fee. So Flick decides he's had enough and goes to look for fighters to help them rebel against them. He finds a group of circus bugs and brings them back, mistaking them for warriors to help fight off the grasshoppers. It's definitely one of the less talked about Pixar movies, but I liked it. It's a story about courage, teamwork, and proving even the smallest individual makes a difference. This has always been up there for me in terms of Pixar movies. It's definitely not better than one, but it is close. Woody gets stolen at a yard sale when he tries to rescue a toy from being sold by Al, the Chicken Man. Turns out Woody is an extremely valuable collector's toy, and Al has every toy from the set except Woody. The set contains 3 other toys as well, named Jessie, the Prospector, and Bullseye. The gang now goes out on an adventure to try and save Woody. We also see how far Buzz has come as a character when he meets another Buzz and has to prove that he is the original. Pretty solid sequel, man. I really enjoyed it. Let's just be honest here. It is one of the best Pixar movies out there. Very ingenious way of taking the concept of having a monster in your closet and turning it into a fleshed out world where the monsters are just doing this as a 9 to 5. The movie follows Mike Wazowski and Sully as they work in a scare factory for their boss, Waternoose. Scaring kids gives them the scare energy they need to power the city. After a shift one day, Sully realizes one of the doors is still there and a kid named Boo has come through. The rest of the movie plays out with them trying to get Boo back through her door. Overall, a very emotional roller coaster here. I still think it's pretty well done.
That's good.
It was good. I mean, it's not as great as, let's say, Toy Story 1 and 2, but it's definitely up there. After losing his wife and the rest of his kids, a clownfish named Marlin becomes extremely overprotective of his son Nemo. Jeez, pretty dark start. Unfortunately, Nemo gets caught by a fisherman. Marlin, now accompanied by a fish named Dory he meets along the way, embarks on an epic journey to get his son back. The story might not be groundbreaking, but it's one I have fond memories of. Yeah, it was good.
That was totally wicked!
This has to be one of the top 5 Pixar movies of all time. The story follows the Parr family, who are a family of superheroes who have to live in hiding because being a superhero is now illegal. Bob eventually gets bored with this lifestyle and decides to become a hero one more time when he gets an anonymous offer to jump back into action. He soon finds out, though, this is a setup, and the family has to come together to beat this new threat. This one has some amazing characters with a solid story that just keeps you engaged throughout. Definitely in the top tier. Wow. I know a lot of people think this movie is just okay, but to me, it was a great addition to the Pixar library. It follows the story of a new hotshot rookie race car who's on his way to making history as the first rookie to ever win a Piston Cup. On his way to the last tiebreaker race, he falls out of his big rig transporter and gets stuck having to pave the road in a small town called Radiator Springs after he destroyed the town's road. First off, the soundtrack slaps. The world they build with talking cars is cool, and as a racing fan, this one hit pretty close to home for me, and I thought it was great. Pixar was in their bag during this time, back-to-back bangers at this stage. The plot follows our favorite little rat named Remy, who wants to be a chef, but one day, he alerts an old lady of the entire rat colony living in her house. The colony flees, and Remy, now separated from the group, finds his way to Gusteau's restaurant. He then makes some soup that seems to be a hit with the customers, and an intern at the restaurant named Linguini team up and decide to make dishes together, with Remy controlling his actions. They find out a famous food critic will be coming to write a review on the restaurant, and chaos breaks loose. This was a fun watch, and I liked the message as well. Don't judge a book by its cover. Anyone can be great at anything, especially if it's their passion. This is the one. The Pixar movie whose rating I've given normally confuses everyone. Am I crying because the movie is bad or because it's an emotional one? Well, now you know. But I thought it was obvious though. Sorry. It's about this little robot who's left behind on Earth after we polluted the planet to the point where it was no longer inhabitable and abandoning it to go live in space. Wall-E then finds a plant growing and he decides to take it with him, only for another robot named Eve to arrive and take it with her back to the human ship, and Wall-E tags along. We see now how civilization has changed in the 700 years since they left Earth, as every human looks like a stereotypical Discord mod. Eve shows the plant to the captain of the Axiom, and he realizes that Earth has evolved to be able to sustain life again. He tries to punch in coordinates back to Earth, but the evil robot controlling the ship tries to stop them, so Wall-E and Eve have to help. The movie was extremely wholesome, and honestly, probably my favorite Pixar movie to date. First Wall-E, and now this emotional wreck again. So the story follows Carl, a young boy obsessed with exploration and adventure, thanks to his childhood hero, explorer Charles Muntz. He meets a girl named Ellie. They fall in love and get married in one of the sweetest opening montages I've ever seen. They plan on traveling to Paradise Falls. However, Ellie gets sick and passes away. I mean, the movie just started. Come on, man. After being forced to live in a retirement home, Carl decides, straps a couple of balloons on his house, and off we go. He then realizes he has a stowaway who got on the house before taking off, and the adventure begins. This was a pretty dark one from start to finish, and I loved every second. Amazing movie.
It's enough to make a grown man cry, and that's okay.
Wow, man. This movie kind of leaves me speechless every time, especially the ending. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Andy's all grown up now and on his way to college, and the gang accidentally gets thrown out by his mom. They decide they're going to climb in a box labeled Sunnyside Daycare because they feel betrayed, thinking Andy is getting rid of them. Unfortunately, the daycare is run by a corrupt bear named Lotso, who runs it like a prison for toys. The gang plans to escape, but gets caught, and they all end up getting thrown into a garbage truck where they end up on a conveyor belt, heading for a certain fiery death. Luckily, they get some help and get out of there. Another one that just hits you right in the feels, especially at the end, where Andy leaves all his toys, including Woody, with this little girl named Bonnie, and he makes her promise to look after them, and drives off, ending his story. Perfect ending, man.
Job, Jamie. I'll go with you first.
I think it's incredibly easy.
Do you?
I think you can court all.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk much about this one. I don't like it at all. This was their first big miss, turning it into Cars meets 007. McQueen is racing this Italian race car in a World Grand Prix. They travel to Tokyo, where the race will happen. Somehow, Mater becomes a spy and saves the day. Blah, blah, blah. I think Mater is a good character, but only in moderation. This proved to me that you can have too much of him in a movie. Also, the villain sucked. Let's move on.
Oh, come on! You gotta admit this is cool!
This movie is overhated to me. Yeah, it's not the most exciting Pixar film, and it's a little boring when you look at it from the point of view of this was Pixar's first attempt at a deconstructive take on the Disney princess story. But I liked it. The movie is about this Scottish princess named Merida, who rebels against her parents. She's a skilled archer who wants to carve out her own path against the age-old traditions they have. She seeks out the help of a witch, but instead ends up turning her mother into a bear. Now, she has to undo this curse before it's too late, and the transformation lasts forever. I think this is a better film than people give it credit for. The production design, the world it showed, and the straightforward plot were done well in my opinion, and I liked Merida as a character. She was likable. This movie functions as a prequel to Monsters, Inc., focusing on how Mike and Sully met and became best friends before they started working at the Scare Factory. They meet at college, where they start off hating each other, and while having an argument one day, they break a Scream canister. The Dean then fails the both of them until Mike makes a bet with the Dean that if they win the Scare Games this year, they get back into the Scare program. The movie isn't that great, and it's okay as a prequel.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
Another one of Pixar's utmost best films. The story is told through the point of view of the 5 emotions inside a girl named Riley's head. They have an entire network system where they are in charge of all Riley's actions and the memories stored inside these balls. Riley and her family move to San Francisco, where they end up staying in a small house. Joy and sadness accidentally get sucked out of the HQ, leaving only anger, fear, and disgust in charge. Now Riley is only left with these 3 emotions. This one was a masterpiece. Everything from the design of all the characters all the way to the world building they did for what's happening in Riley's head was amazing. It's a beautiful take on how the mind works and it being okay to feel all these emotions.
To be honest,
Yeah, this movie gets a lot of hate, and I can see why. It was billed as a movie that was going to explore the possibilities of a world where dinosaurs never went extinct and kept on evolving, posing the question, what would that world look like? And what we got was a bare-bones version of that. The story takes place in a world where the asteroid never hits the Earth. We meet Arlo, our protagonist, who almost drowns because he gets lost, then meets a caveman boy who acts exactly like a dog. They go on some adventures, and Arlo ends up giving him to a new family to look after him. That's about that, really. It had a lot of potential, but this one just disappointed me more than anything, but I still think it's an okay watch. It's not Cars 2 levels of bad, at least. Okay, let me get this out the way while I do like this movie. There are some elements here that I did not like. Finding Dory is basically, as the title implies, Finding Dory, because she's gone missing. It tells the story of how Dory actually remembers how she lost her parents. Now she embarks on a journey to go and find her parents. Nemo and Marlin go after her and bring her back home. Now for what I liked. Dory's half of the story was well done. It was really touching seeing her battle through her short-term memory loss problems and reuniting with her parents. Nemo and Marlin's side, however, felt kind of boring and bland, and showed Marlin learned nothing from his overprotective and control-seeking behavior in the first movie. It feels like character regression.
Oh, that's that good shit!
You can't tell me this isn't a badass teaser poster. You just can't. After hating Cars 2 so much, I didn't have much faith that this one was going to recapture the magic. The story is about McQueen having to slowly come to terms with the fact that he's getting older, and while his friends all are quitting one by one because the newer and faster cars are coming into the circuit, he refuses to accept it, which ends up with him being in a horrible crash. He gets fixed up and starts training with a yellow sports car named Cruz Ramirez, where he learns he might still need to learn some things, embrace his future, and pass on his legacy. Honestly, it would have been satisfying to see Lightning beat Jackson Storm, but I like how it went down.
Oh, come on! You gotta admit this is...
This movie is a masterpiece, probably one of Pixar's most creative ventures to date. It has so much emotion behind it. The story is about this little boy named Miguel, who has a passion for music, despite his family basically banning any and all forms of music from their home. He looks up to this old singer called Ernesto de la Cruz, who fortunately was crushed by a bell during a performance. On the Day of the Dead, he believes Ernesto has to be his father because of a picture he has. So Miguel's grandmother breaks the guitar he's been using to practice in secret. He steals Ernesto's guitar, which sends him to the land of the dead, where he meets all his dead relatives. He also meets a man named Hector, who helps him try to reach Ernesto so he can give him his blessing and send him back since his family refuses to do so, since he wants to keep being a musician when he gets back. Yeah, this is one of their most emotional endings. The characters are great, the world they built is vibrant and interesting, and the story was just amazing. After 14 years, they finally gave us a sequel for this, and it was okay, I guess. I didn't hate it, at least. This one basically starts off where the first one ended. Unfortunately, they end up fighting a villain, causing a lot of collateral damage, making the government ban superheroes once again. Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and Frozone enlist in a program to help repair the public image of superheroes by placing cameras on them and broadcast their actions and decisions to the public. Oh, and Jack is basically Peter Petrelli from Heroes with all the powers he has. Obviously, the program turns out to be a scam and the heroes get brainwashed. Now the children need to save the day. It was fine, honestly. Hoping Incredibles 3 will be a masterpiece, or at least better than this. This is undoubtedly my least favorite of the franchise, which doesn't even mean it's bad in any way, just the other 3 were done better. So the story is, Bonnie creates a brand new toy named Forky. During a road trip, Forky jumps out of the car and Woody goes to rescue him. Woody and Forky now try to make their way back while Bonnie is at the carnival. That is, till Woody runs into Bo Peep. We also have a villain named Gabby who captures Forky because she wants to trade for Woody's voice box. The movie is not a great follow-up for 3, and though the story was mediocre for a Toy Story movie, I thought thought it was okay.
Not bad.
Not bad, but not good.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a terrible movie by any means. It's just one of the weaker ones from Pixar. I mean, it's a pretty beat by the numbers one. The story takes place in a modern fantasy world where people have forgotten how to use magic. It follows two elf brothers, Ian and Barley, and on Ian's 16th birthday, they get a staff. Their dad, who has passed away, left them. Ian is a wizard and can bring his dad back for one day with the staff. The spell kind of fails and only brings back half of their dad. So now they go on an adventure to find a gem to power the staff and completely bring back their dad. The movie is okay. It's not anything special. I like the message of cherishing what you have and the support system you have, rather than focusing on what's no longer there.
It's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, this is a weird one for me. Majority of people seem to love it, while I just think it's mid. It has some emotional and powerful scenes, but so much happens in here that you rarely have time to focus on those moments. It follows the life of Joe, who is a middle school music teacher, who has a passion for jazz music, who gets an offer to play with a musician, and he impresses her. He gets the job, but not long after that, he dies. He's in a space now, where he can choose to move on or escape this place. He meets a character named 22, who's pretty content with where she is in life, and doesn't want to go to Earth. They find a way back to Joe's body, but 22 falls down to Earth with him. Now 22 is in Joe's body, and Joe is now in the cat's body. I feel the scenes where 22 is experiencing life for the first time were done great, but I wasn't a fan of the ending to this movie. Maybe down the line I end up appreciating it more, but for now, it stays mid.
So good.
You know, I remember not liking this the first time I watched it, but rewatching it recently, I can't tell you why. This is a damn good movie. It was a fun, emotional, cool characters, and a great story. This child named Luca, who is a sea monster, runs away from home after his parents ban him from going to the surface world. He meets another sea monster named Alberto on land, who teaches him to act more human. Also, if a sea monster is out of water or dry, they become human, and if they're in the water or become wet, they turn into a sea monster again. Alberto dreams about one day traveling the world on a Vespa. They meet a girl named Julia and join forces to win a race to get enough money to buy a Vespa. When Luca seems to not be interested in getting the Vespa anymore because he wants to go to school, Alberto decides he's gonna reveal that he's a sea monster. Luca panics and turns his back on him. Damn, that is cold. Luca decides he's gonna make it up to him by winning the Vespa alone. This is really well done. I do not know what younger me was thinking writing this off.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I honestly didn't think I was going to like this one, to be honest. It was a very unique story from Pixar. The story follows May, who is 13, and she and her friends all have a crush on this cashier. May is literally drawing fanfics of her and this man. Her mom finds out and goes to the store, embarrassing her in front of everyone. The next day, May wakes up as a red panda. She figures out that if her emotions are high, she'll turn into this panda, and when she's calm, she'll turn back. May ends up using the transformation to earn money so she can go to a concert, which pisses off her mom, releasing her red panda. This movie really surprised me, man. Good characters, well-executed story, a nice message of embracing oneself. Did we really need this movie? Like, honestly now. This was so unnecessary. The story could have really been light years better than what we got. Like, if you hold this movie up against any other Pixar movie released in the last 10 years, it's just forgettable. The movie follows Buzz Lightyear, obviously, who, by his own fault, gets stranded on a planet along with his colony. So now Buzz needs to fix his mistake and find a way home. Also, did I mention how much of an ego Buzz has in this movie? Wow. He tests experimental fuel, dedicating himself to getting everyone home. Just every time he goes for a test flight, the hyperspace fuel sends him 4 years into the future. Yeah, the villain reveal sucked. The story isn't anything interesting, like, at all. And the characters were also just as forgettable.
Oh, good. Why, that's very good. Yes, I like that.
Pixar came back with its first real attempt at a romance movie since WALL-E, and the movie was fine. I liked it. The story takes place in a fantasy world known as Elemental City. It's a very vibrant place, where the residents are made of either fire, water, earth, or air. A full Avatar state, if you will. The story follows Ember, who, like her element, is a very passionate and determined young woman, whose life kind of takes an unexpected turn when she meets Wade, who, like his element, is very empathetic, adaptable, and emotional. Despite the differences, the two of them form a friendship that kind of makes each other question what they knew about themselves, their families, and the society they live in. Their relationship grows stronger, and the two realize that sometimes the biggest impact in your life can come from the people who seem the most different to you. This was a pretty solid one for me. The story was good, the characters were interesting, all around an enjoyable watch. Our girl Riley is now 13 years old, which means she is about to enter her teenage years and deal with puberty, and the squad think they're ready for the coming years. Boy, are they naive. Joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust get surprised when a new set of emotions, anxiety, envy, ennui, and embarrassment, show up in HQ to bring a new dynamic to the group. Riley decides she wants to join the hockey team and befriends a new group of kids while still having her old friends. Her trying to befriend the new cool kids leads to tension between her and her old friends, while the old emotions have to deal with the fact that the new emotions want to take over HQ. I think they really captured the magic of what made the first one so great and brought it into this one. It was a great story and message yet again about how you should embrace and accept every part of yourself instead of trying to suppress your emotions. I thought this was good. Not Pixar magic greatness, but good. It was fine, honestly. The story follows a boy named Elio, who, for some reason, feels he's never quite fit in on Earth, and is trying to get himself abducted by aliens. Then one day it actually happens. He gets transported across the galaxy, because he gets mistaken for Earth's ambassador. Now he's in a new world, known as Communiverse, with strange alien civilizations. Initially, he feels that he wants to stay, because it's an incredibly beautiful place, and he makes friends. But he soon realizes the deep connection he actually has with his family on Earth. Like I said, it's a good movie. I like the theme of the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Another one I thought was good. Not great, but a good movie. The story follows Mabel, a 19-year-old animal lover. This love for animals stems from her grandmother, who taught her to appreciate all life. And when her parents decided they're leaving the country, she decides to stay with her grandmother because she believes that she needs her more. The mayor of the town wants to kick all wildlife off their land to make room for a highway, and Mabel makes it her mission to stop him. She meets a scientist who has a device allowing her to transfer her consciousness into a robotic beaver, trying to band the animals together to help them. It's an enjoyable film, no doubt. It's funny and changes up the Pixar formula a lot. It's good, but the plot does get messy. You know what? I'm not one to never admit when I'm wrong, and I wasn't excited for this at all. And I can most definitely say this is an amazingly well done movie. I might have even shed a tear or two. The toys and Bonnie are back, but the toys soon realize they have a problem. When Bonnie gets a new lily pad, basically an iPad really, and they start feeling threatened because Bonnie spends all her time on this device. Jessie, who is the main character in this movie, decides to call Woody for help. Woody returns, and now they try and find a way to get Bonnie away from this new addictive technology. The movie really shocked me in how great the story was. It wasn't as one-dimensional as tech is bad, toys are good. It explores how we as a society have integrated tech into our daily lives and how we use it to even bond socially. In that aspect, you see why it is kind of necessary for Bonnie, otherwise she will feel left out in her friend group. Yeah, I think this movie is relevant in today's day and age, and I really enjoyed it. With that being said, what has been your favorite Pixar movie to date? Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe.